said just at the beginning. I don't think you heard him.
What?
He said you can comment just at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So, just to let you know. Keep me rolling here.
Ready? I want to call the meeting to order. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Teresa, please do a roll call.
Alderman Hamilton.
Here.
Alderman Slattery.
Here.
Alderman Finn.
He's excused.
Alderman Broughton.
Here.
Alderman Woodsey. Mayor-elect Monteleone.
Thank you. Here.
You have the floor.
Fred, did you want to sign up for citizens' comments? No? Okay.
No, what
I understand.
good is it? I didn't hear anything yet, so
Okay.
I can't respond to
I'm just
anything.
following the list here, the agenda. So we're going to have a continuation of discussion with St. Louis County Police. Who would like to start?
I guess I have to start. Okay. What we've noticed, at no fault of the police, is the fact that it appears that they're spending more time out of the city rather than being here patrolling our streets. And that's kind of based on, like, I had a couple neighbors call me, why is our officer sitting in Target and sitting there facing the front door? It was there for at least 45 minutes. I don't know, waiting for somebody to come out, whatever. I thought, well, maybe it's a lunch hour or something like that. But, you know, this is a problem for me because when I talked to Joe Monteleone, I've been here quite a while to see when we first got our police officers. And he was going door to door, greeting people, talking to people, having lunch at Mr. Bush's house every day. And it was a neighborhood type police situation. He was looking to see if there were cameras, which back in the day there were not as many. They are now. Then it kind of evolved to, he went away, then we had Matt Kapler, who I love. I don't even know if Matt's still, is he at the middle?
He is, he's over in,
Did he make it?
Fort Dix.
Yeah. We had Matt Kapler, and the same thing. Matt was out there, but Matt had an opportunity to adjust his hours, and the reason he adjusted his hours was for family reasons, and he would come sometimes on the weekends, and he got to know a lot of people. And as society has unfortunately dictated things that are going on with the police, you get spit on, you have bottles of urine thrown at you. I mean, it's like, who wants to be a police officer? And I know you guys are very dedicated. I cannot say anything bad. But the problem is that because of the shortage, we often see our police officers going out of the city, which if they have to, for emergencies or for whatever reason, that's fine. But as I told Jeremy the other day, I see him in Hobby Lobby. He's got a young lady sitting on the curb, she's handcuffed. And it's the middle of the day, he should be over here. If it's a theft, I really don't care. These are billion-dollar corporations between Hobby Lobby, Target, Costco. If things are that bad off, they can get their own people. They can get their own security guards in there. We should not have to go over. Now, if you're stealing something and you're wheeling around a machete at the same time, yeah, you go. But we're going out for things that are minor. My idea here is, because of the shortage, that we are probably being used more than we should. Our officer was up at a Lime and Lindbergh car accident. 4 officers showed up. Our officer was the second or third officer, and he's the one that ended up having to stay up there. I don't think I understand that when we're paying for it out of the city of Green Park. Same way with what happened in Ward 2. People were followed home from the ATM machine. You know, maybe, just maybe, if our officer would have been driving by at that time, it could have been thwarted. or maybe he could have got there right when it was going on, but I don't see the presence, and I have people in Ward 1 complaining to me about it. Where are our police? We never see them. So that's the issue I have. It's not them going out. It's going out for trivial things that I don't think they should be going out for because you guys are short, but it's really not our problem.
So all priority one calls, no matter what contract they work for, doesn't matter, those officers are gonna respond to that call. So when we are shorthanded and a priority one call, which is theft in progress, I know those businesses don't seem trivial to you, but it's not trivial to the police department. Any priority one call that comes out, we are mandated by our procedures that we are going to respond for those calls for service, no matter where those cars are assigned. Let's say a priority one call comes out and is down at Old English off Gravois Road, and Jeremy or Sana are the only officers available, they're going. There is no right to this, you know, with city contract for them to prioritize or dictate our operational procedures. If they are, now, as soon as a different assist officer gets to that scene, yes, they are gonna relieve them and they are to respond here back to the city. But any type of priority one call, which is a theft in progress, which happens at Hobby Lobby, which happens at Target, I know Jeremy responded over there, that is a must priority one call. We have to respond to those calls for service.
But are there no other officers
A
available?
lot of the time there's no, and that's the only reason, because those officers they'll stay in the city and they're not gonna key up to take that call. They're not keying up to voluntarily take that. That just means in emergency situations where we have no other cars available, that they have to respond to that call until
police-
another officer can get there to relieve them.
I know I saw Sonda 2 weeks ago or something close to that, and Sue said, they had a woman in handcuffs. She actually had walked up and cut someone's line and said, "You're killing the fish." It was obviously a mental
Yeah,
thing.
big mental health, right.
And so I asked her when I saw her there, because I wasn't gonna interfere with, you know, what was going on. There were like 3 police officers in Sonda. And I was like, why is she here? But I talked to her at the meeting, and she said they called me in because I was a female and they needed to do a
Yes,
female
sometimes
search.
it's true, yes.
My question is kind of, was there no other female
They're
officers?
short. They're
But with
short.
You'll be
female,
surprised,
you're even
there's-
shorter than
there's-
male. So
correct,
that was
yes.
kind of,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't
And
have a
Sana does
problem
get
with
pulled
that.
over too because, what you know, think of her, she translates too. So sometimes when we're dealing, because we have a large Bosnian population here, so she does get utilized quite a bit too for her translations purposes. So they will call her to a scene going, hey, I can't communicate, whether it's an accident scene or it might be shoplifting or other scene, I need you to come here and translate real quick. So she'll run down there, translate real quick, and she comes immediately right back here to the city.
So I guess I need clarification too. I hate to use the new thing because I'm not new anymore, but I really never understood this part. Do we pay our officers a set amount yearly? Regardless of how much we use them?
We pay the police department. We pay extra for the extra patrols, which can fluctuate.
That's what I mean. So if we use them, whatever, I'm throwing this out here, 300 hours a month, and then another month we use them, whatever, 200. So it's different
So,
then each
not
time?
necessarily fluctuating. So you have 2 full-time police officers, so
Right.
Sonda and Jeremy, and then you have supplemental contract patrols. So it's 1,032 hours total over the year of supplemental patrols. So that breaks down to 4 30-minute contract patrols when Sonda or Jeremy are not in the city. The other side of that coin, though, and with where I'm in, my offices within our planning department, I had one of our employees pull some numbers for me. So the other side of that coin is that of the calls last year, so 2025 numbers, there were 190 of those calls that were within the city that Jeremy or Sonda took that had an assist officer come in from the precinct and assist with. So of those 190, you had a total of 275 officers that came into the city that were outside of the Green Park contract that assisted Jeremy or Sonda on their day-to-day job. So they pull somebody over in the assist car. That assist car is coming from the Afton precinct over into here into the city of Green Park. So that's not included in the contract billing. We never bill for that. We never account for that. But there is a flip side to that coin. So yes, there are times that they're outside, but there's also a lot of times where that precinct is coming in to assist those officers within the city of Green Park at no expense to the city of Green Park. So that is something to keep in mind.
And we know they do, and probably does the nursing home get the bulk of that? The nursing home, they have to go up there, Joe, do you know?
Man, I really don't, I know they,
Meaning respond
have
to calls?
issues there, yeah.
Yeah. Anytime fire department gets dispatched, we have to go as well. So any sick case call up to the nursing home, we are mandated to go as well.
You know, the bottom line for me is they're short. They're just short. And if it's something that we need to deal with, I don't know how to deal with it. And the other thing was, the question I had was about, and I think you answered these questions. My question was this: in the event we did not have any police service, what would we have?
The only requirement would be, we would be in here for 911 calls, and that would be it. So St. Louis County car would not be in the city of Green Park. If there's no contract, per requirements, we are only required to respond to 911 calls, and that would be it. So, per the county charter states that for unincorporated areas of St. Louis County, we have to provide police services. But since you are incorporated as a city, the only thing we would be required to would be 911 calls. So if somebody calls 911 within Green Park, we then are required to, but other than that, there's no patrols, there's nothing like that that would go on within the city boundaries.
So
So
do
your
we feel
speeders-
that our city, as aldermen, do we feel that the city is safer with the officers patrolling our neighborhoods as is?
Because last month you had 2 crimes in the city of Green Park.
But is that because?
2,
and
and one was a
asking,
fraud,
like,
so one is, you had to have 1 larceny in a month.
But what I'm curious, is that because we have them, or is it just, that's just?
I think it's because
the
of
way
the
it is?
consistency of the presence of the officers that are around here. They're constantly driving by and stuff like that. Because you have a lot of open businesses, like Larcy's from Mobile, like we, especially at nighttime when they're even, when Sana and them are not here, is how we're preventing all those other crimes from
So
happening.
I know
All
that
the car
businesses-
break-ins overnight, all that stuff is not happening.
These people are getting.
But I'm wondering if it isn't happening because, like Carol was saying,
What the KS?
the residents are complaining because they don't, and some of these people are looking out their window all the time. And they're not seeing the officers patrolling the neighborhood, so are the crooks seeing the officers?
Because sometimes your
or-
biggest deterrent is obviously visibility. So sometimes when you hide in a neighborhood, I'm not being as visible. So sometimes if I like to sit like at the entrance to a subdivision, or I'm sitting on Green Park Road where I can see the more movement of where the vehicles are coming from, it's a bigger deterrent sometimes than sitting in a cul-de-sac where only those 3 houses are gonna be seen. But if I can sit in the like entrance to Ronnie Hills where I can see all the cars coming in, then I'm gonna be preventing anybody that's gonna be passing me. They're like, nope, I'm not gonna go in that subdivision and I'll break anything because I see the police cars, I'm driving down Lindbergh Road, there they are. Nope, I'm not even gonna bother with it.
One like Carol, I respect you
Yeah.
totally, absolutely.
So that type of
Respect what you
policing
do.
works better as a deterrent when you have less officer cars.
And like, I respect you, so don't get this wrong. So
Well, they're
whatever I
short.
say,
They're
it's
short.
not because I'm not respecting.
That's the
But
problem.
like, I am out and about like all day long because of my job and what I do, all day long, zipping back and forth all over the place. I hardly ever see our officers.
Because it's a public.
I'm not saying they're not there,
Yeah,
but I'm not seeing them in the
there.
neighborhoods or on green, I mean, I very seldom see them, and I'm like, how am I missing them when I'm out and about? Like I said, I'm not saying they're not there, I'm just saying, I'm not seeing them. And if the residents aren't seeing them,
Well, you know, the other thing too is this, and this is an issue, them not letting City Hall know that they're working that day or who's there. If we're paying for police officers, we have a right to know who's out there, who's on, who took the day off. And I'll disagree, I heard a couple of aldermen talking about, you know, we have to know who's on and where they're at, and we want the little screen thing. That's none of our business.
You're not
The
privy to any
security and the
information.
safety of a police officer
Yeah.
is so much in
Correct.
danger by people knowing that, even people in the office. But to know that they're here, to know
Yeah.
which
And I've
one's
been trying a
on.
better job correcting that since I've taken over, communicating, especially with Joe and Teresa about
Well, I
days off
haven't
they've
heard that.
taken.
I haven't heard that from you guys. I heard just the
Yeah,
opposite
I mean, I
from
could
you.
send it to all the, if it'd be better to like send it to the whole group. I
No,
could
we should not know.
do
That's
that.
really none of our
I mean, you're
business.
saying the schedule wise.
Unless we need to know. No, we don't
that's
even,
been taken care of since
Is
the
it?
lieutenant's been
Okay.
here.
I'm just saying if
He
you
texts
would
us
like,
and emails Teresa.
I was just told the other day that it was still an issue.
There was an issue that came up twice, you know, you had an emergency with, Officer Haig, you know, with a family member, I can't
Yes.
go into details. And then also I don't know if it was an emergency, but Officer Chosek, had an issue in her family where she needed to be away, and I was not aware of it.
Yeah, and that one fell on me because I was trying to plan the No Kings protest on that weekend because it was that Friday and I was trying to get
Yes.
our operational plan together for that. She had told me about it, that was on me. I meant to send that email to you and I just simply got caught up in the other operational plan that we had for the big protest that day. And I once you said, I go, darn it, I forgot to send it to you, but yeah, I've been trying to communicate more. If there's a better way to do that, or if you guys want to change that, please come see me. I'd be more than happy to try
I
to.
just think it's a priority.
Try to better
that
communicate
City
with
Hall
them.
knows.
Okay, yeah.
We
No,
really
I've been
don't
trying to
have
let, yeah,
No,
immediately
she
notify them.
emails Teresa and myself, and it's been quite an improvement.
I was not told that.
Yeah.
I
But
was
if there's
told
a
it was
better
still
way,
problem.
we can get, that satisfies, I'll be more than happy to.
You know, the bottom line is I'm just not used to not seeing the
Communicate
police.
them better.
And every year the price goes up and I know it's the cost of living and everything else is gonna be the way it is, but it's just a different environment. And I think kudos to Ron, Ron's getting the neighborhood watch together and people, we do communicate. I mean, the people on my street, they're calling me, I see our police officer sitting here up at Target, and then I'm seeing them in Hobby Lobby and everywhere. It just, that distresses me, and I know it's because you're short.
Yeah.
But when
I
the
said, those
price
priority
keeps
one
going up,
calls
I've had to call 911 at my house, and neither one of our officers showed up. But,
Yeah, if they're not but like I said, if they're not working, yeah, then obviously.
well, they
those
were
symptom
working that day,
controls-
but it
But
was
if they're on
hampered.
other, yes, and it too, then that's what Eric was saying, so
They're gonna sit
if
there.
Sonda or Jeremy are on a different call for service and you call police, we are coming right away. It's not like we're just gonna wait and put your call on hold and go, nope,
It took
sorry.
them, it took them a long time
But your
to
response-
come,
yeah.
but she asked me all the questions that she needed to ask to make sure that I was safe. And she said, just stay there, they'll be there, and they were. And on that note too, Sonda, I've seen Sonda on numerous occasions. I have someone in my family that does not live with me anymore that has mental health issues. And she is incredible, talking to someone and getting them to calm down.
It's our training that we go through.
Well, she is superior at it.
She is, I've seen her do it with the
And it
neighbors.
was very impressive, because I know this individual, and to talk this individual down is nearly impossible. And she did it, because I'm telling her. And she's looking at me like, no, I'll get her to calm down, which she did. She does an excellent job.
Yeah, well, thank you, it's good to hear that.
And we've had Sonda in our neighborhood a number of times with the neighbors, so, and I've never seen an off-duty, or not off-duty, a county police officer come. It has been Jeremy or Sonda on our street.
Would we be better to have the 2-hour, half-an-hour patrols on the shifts? If we had the 2-hour, half-an-hour patrols on a night shift and then the after 11 shift, Joe, I'm asking you, what do you think of that?
That would be a question for the officer and the.
Well, it's money-wise, I mean, we're talking money.
So, the contract, the supplementals do not occur when Sonda or Jeremy are on.
Correct.
So those are only throughout the day, throughout the shift.
But we do respond to any calls.
Yeah, yeah,
If they
so-
are on a different call for service, like I said, we are coming anyways. If you call the police, we're gonna come.
And
If Sonda or
obviously with
Jeremy
that,
are on a
yeah.
different call
We
for
know
service,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
And obviously if a 911 call comes out and Sonda and Jeremy aren't here, we're not doing the supplemental, somebody's coming obviously as well there too.
But is it cost effective for that?
You're saying to
And am I
remove?
asking the wrong person, really?
I guess, I'm not sure, are you asking just to do the supplemental?
To do that and maybe keep one officer?
So you've historically had that, you've had one officer before in the past.
I recall.
And you
Is that
increased it
when-
to the 2, that was probably, I think that was when this was signed back in 2020.
Was that one with Kepler? Was it
We had
just one man?
McKelvey, then McKelvey was leaning towards retirement because of his knees and his hips, then we got Matt
Yeah,
Kapler,
okay.
then we got Sean McGuire.
Okay.
So yeah, that was back in 2020 when this current contract we're under was signed. I know before that you had one officer and one full-time and one supplemental.
Correct.
But that is gonna be the same conversations of, if you're not seeing them enough with just the one, you then have the number that basically it's a fun number that I like to play around with, but the productive hours of an officer is 2032. So it's 2,032 hours a year. So you have to factor in vacation, training, all that stuff, and that's also factored in with these officers as well. But then dropping down to one officer, you're talking a few days a week that they'd be here, less relationships with your businesses, with the citizens that they do interact with. And that's part of like, you know, Sonda, with your example, she probably was aware of the situation, she knew what was going on, she may have been out there before, something of that nature, your neighbors. That is the benefit of those full-time officers for your city, is that they know some of those things that go on within the city better than an officer that's just doing supplemental patrol. Because supplemental patrol officers are going to be what's free, what's available at the time when we're doing them. Some precincts, yes, it would be the same ones typically a lot of the times, but that's just, again, up to what's available. These two, Sonda and Jeremy, are to your city. Again, it is up to the decision of the city. It is nothing that we're going to dictate which direction you go in that regard. If you want to drop it down to one, that's totally within your right, and I'm happy to work that up if that's what's decided. But I will say that, you know, like you said, the staffing thing, which is not a big secret in the world today we live in. But if we do really reduce to one officer in a couple of years, you say, hey, let's get another one back, it's gonna be a lot harder to sell just with where we're at right now, staffing wise. Obviously, things are getting better, but it's a lot harder to say that, okay, the chief will give one and bring them back.
Yeah, I didn't even know
So-
we had such a shortage. I mean, I knew, what, 300 police in the city of St. Louis, they're short, but I didn't know the shortage except someone who's no longer with the city had mentioned it to me continuously. They're never here. They're never here. They listen to the gizmo, the thing. What do
No,
you call it?
scanners?
Yeah, the
Police
scanner.
So,
And
and
they
that's,
said they're just never here, and I needed him and he can't be here, and that was from someone that's no longer here. Who called it to my attention? I wouldn't have known otherwise or even thought about that. I did start seeing them out everywhere else.
when I know we did provide previously, I know when McGuire was in the lieutenant down here, I know we did provide you all them outside the city. That was that month of October, and I know it was just a very few amount of times. But again, it's priority one. You know, at the end of the day, it's still police officers and officer safety that they're gonna go out of the city and do that. But majority of the time, they are within the city boundaries. But again, the going from 2 to 1, that's not for us to tell you. It's, you know, your city has to make the decision. If that's what you all as a group decide, then I'm happy to, you know, we can work on that.
If that would happen, what happens to the officer who is relieved from city of
They
Green
would
Park? Do they
probably-
get absorbed by St. Louis County?
Oh, yeah, they would just
Yeah,
roll back
they're
into
county
Afton.
police officers,
They're county
yeah.
police, they would either roll back into Afton or go somewhere else within the
They
county.
go to your house.
So,
What?
you're not letting anybody go, so don't worry about that.
You got a room like a
They're,
question.
they're gonna have a
My
job.
role here and in other cities.
They're county police.
Kind of like a human
I
resource
just wanna
role.
make sure.
Mhm.
And full-time hours in a year is calculated at 2080, and I happen to notice you said 2032.
So we take away, some training, you got vacation, you got training, that's productive hours. So that's like, how are they productive in the street on the, like, that's
So it's
where.
2032.
Well, it's actually, sorry, 2032, it's, 2082 is the number I'm thinking of, it's 1730 something after their required training, vacation, so we factor in all the vacation. So an officer earns, I don't know what the number is right now, but we have to factor in the vacation days, all that. That's being generous and saying they're gonna take all their vacation this year, they're going to take all the, you know, all of that stuff. But you have the certain number of required training, there's post-training, the range days, all of that stuff, that's all factored into it.
Okay.
And I can give you the number, it's,
It's fine.
I think I've given it to you guys before.
I didn't catch that, and I'm like, that's just.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I calculated.
yeah, it's not the hours, it's not 20, yeah, you're right, 2080 is the,
Okay.
if you're working a 40-hour week, it's 28 in a year.
Okay.
But then we say productive, which there actually can be on the street, is
Okay.
17, I can pull that
Thank
up,
you
but,
for
yeah,
clarifying.
no, yeah. It's been a minute since I tossed that number out there, so thanks for correcting me, 2080.
You know, and this has all been talked about with some other aldermen, I don't know why I'm the only one talking. But we talked about when the summertime comes to have some police officers that are working maybe 2 shifts a month on a weekend day. That's when everybody's out, that's when you get an opportunity to meet the people. That's the way it used to be. It wasn't, you know, every weekend or whatever, just to be more of a neighborhood officer. We just really don't have that.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, we could always work with the schedule. Obviously, you know, if you do throw in weekends, we're fine with that, but obviously they're here less during the week, you know, so it's
Yeah,
kind
and
of
it's
one of
not
those.
like a whole weekend, it's
Yeah.
just maybe one day, like a day they're like, hey, I'm not doing anything with my kid this weekend, I'll pick that day. You know, it would be real flexible for us because we're still covered, you know, if something happens, they come in if we need help, but yeah, on the weekdays, yeah. We all talk about this, does anybody want to say anything?
I think it's hard for the officers to,
Joe?
I think it's hard for the officers though to do the community because things are so different. Like, I'm driving up and down the street, when do you see?
You see them in the
People moving
summertime
outside.
when they're cutting their lawns, when they're
Yeah,
out
but is a police
talking.
officer gonna stop and, you
Well, they're
know?
supposed to, yeah,
Wait,
they're supposed to say
stop
hello, they
cutting.
used to.
I wouldn't
They
want-
knew everybody in the neighborhood, they
I don't want
stopped for,
somebody stopping me. I'm
they
not
stopped for the
sure.
guy that
Like,
had the best
Yeah.
coffee.
Obviously, yeah, policing has definitely
It's
changed.
shifted.
Well, it's shifted only because of society, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
Mhm.
you know, everybody thought you guys were demons overnight, and that
Yeah, but not,
concept-
you know, like,
that
they're used to
concept
being, you know, when they
lingers.
drive down the street, they get flipped off now, and now when,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
just-
before,
it-
when I first started 25 years ago, it was, yeah, we got out more of the community.
Well,
yeah.
it upsets me.
It's changed
It
a lot.
upsets me so much.
It's so different
because
from when I started to what it is today.
There's no other profession where you walk out the door every day to put your life on the line for people that you just don't even know. Who wants to do that? And the pay, it stinks. I mean, I applaud you guys. Don't think I'm trying to beat on you. But these are questions that I've been asked by the people in Ward 1 and by some of the aldermen here that are not uttering a word out of their mouth for whatever reason. I have no idea.
Well,
what
I'm not because I don't hear that.
Well, not you. I'm not talking
Yeah,
about
I've
you.
never had anybody say
But
we don't
I don't
say no.
understand why there's not more questions. Do you have any questions?
Mr. Broughton, because this has been a big issue with you.
Yes, it has.
That's why we're here.
Since you asked. I want you to consider, we're elected officials of the city of Green Park, and we have taken an oath to support the city to do what is right and proper for the city. Okay, so assuming that the financial viability of the contractual services and the integrity of the providers, aldermanic responsibility is right there. We should be looking at everything all the time so that we get the best deal for the city of Green Park. And it doesn't, we're not responsible for keeping the county police in business. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
But that's a fact. It's just like dealing with the provider for the snow removal or whatever. We're not tied to them. Okay? And we need to do, on those contracts, we need to do what's good for the city. Okay. One of the other things, I'll be brief here. The contract should not be allowed, or the contractors should not be allowed to dictate services to us. Now with the police, it's a little different, but nonetheless, we should be getting the best deal that we can get. Okay. County Executive Sam Page admits the county's in financial difficulty. I think we all know that if you've got a radio or television or whatever. He suggests partnering with St. Louis City for many services. Have you heard that?
And I am against that 100%.
No, he was on television just last week with
I thought
this.
some of that was already.
All right, okay, thank you. I'm talking to you,
Well, keep going.
Okay, so Mr. Page not only suggests that a partner with St. Louis City Police Department, but he is advocating also for that in another article that I read, which is published. That's a particular kind of difficult thing to understand how we're going to fit into that, because right now the St. Louis City Police Department is being controlled by the state. They have the state appointed board, just like they had when I was there. Okay, so the ultimate question that we have is, how is all this going to affect police service? I suggest that at our April 20 board meeting, that we prepare a letter to the county police
advising them that we will not renew the contract as is, and that we will have what normally you send the contract in October.
So, yeah, so the contract
Okay.
renews January 1st.
Okay, so if we would get a letter to you telling you what services we would like to have and so forth, if we had that to you by the end of September, that would be time enough?
We could take a look at it for sure. It kind of has to go through our legal channels
Sure.
and things
Yeah,
of that
no,
nature,
I-
but I believe I said this before, but this, you don't have to wait to January 1 if you want to make a change. If you want to, July, you say, hey, we know what we want to do, this is the direction we want to go.
Okay, well,
We
one
can,
of the things I happened to notice here was the memo from you addressing that Green Park receives roughly $178,000 in Proposition P funds every year. Okay, folks, we cannot count on that money. So once again, we have to be financially conscious of what we're doing in this city and the services that we're providing to the city and what they're costing. So at our coming the 20th meeting, can we maybe make arrangements to have if that's voted for, Joe?
I think the board had to agree on
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it. And I'll comment on some of the issues that were brought up between Carol, yourself, and Tammy. And the October, November meetings were recorded. I just want to state a fact that I'm against cutting any services from the police department, period. I don't think the residents would appreciate that, or the commercial businesses. I think we could look at different avenues to cut back, but as far as the police department, I think that's a mistake to even think about cutting. That's just my personal feeling. Let me finish.
Sorry,
please.
I thought you-
I didn't interrupt you.
No,
And I'm next.
Yeah, so,
I'm next.
like I said, in October, November, we had the discussion, and you know how I felt then. My feelings are, excuse me, Ron. My feelings haven't changed. We need the police department. I'm not gonna try to save money on that aspect of our protection. I appreciate them. I understand that their job is very difficult. They can't be everywhere at all times. But when I see an officer, which I go through the city pretty often, and when I see the city of Green Park on the bottom of it, most people feel protected. They know those officers belong in our city, even if they get called out, but they are our officers. Years ago, when McKelvey was here in '95, one officer. Everything else was under the supplemental, is that correct?
correct, yes.
So thinking about getting rid of supplemental, it doesn't work for me.
No shortage.
What I'm trying to say, Carol, please, I didn't interrupt you when you were speaking, okay? When I'm done, you can comment. What I'm trying to say is the 16 hours that McKelvey wasn't here, supplemental kicked in. When we have our officers not here for any reason, vacation, sick, we have other officers that patrol our area. We're never unprotected for the 24 hours that we're here. So, like I said, I'm totally against cutting any kind of police services. I'd say the majority of the residents and business owners, I'm going to mention it again, would be sad to hear that. That's just my opinion. Ron, do you have anything to
Yeah, I
add?
do. I want to say something too. Safety first. We got to have safety in our city. Alderman Broughton, this isn't about making the best deal. There's no deal here. This is our residents. This isn't about the city. This is about the safety of our residents.
Let me stop you, Ron.
Let him.
No, I've heard this, I've
Michael,
heard
he
this
didn't
stuff
interfere with
before.
you, and he didn't stop.
Yeah, I
Let him
haven't
finish,
interrupted
please.
you.
Have a little respect.
Why are you interrupting me?
Have a little respect.
Well, this man has disrespected me once before.
Let him
And I
finish,
came in
please.
here with a
You'll have
list
your
of
time to
things
speak
I've done
after
for
you're
this
done.
city that he didn't,
Michael,
that he hasn't done.
Please,
Let me talk.
let him talk.
Let me talk. If you go that route with only one police officer, mark my word, there's not gonna be a neighborhood watch. Okay, because I'm not gonna be doing the neighborhood watch anymore. Larceny's gonna increase, crime in this city is gonna increase. You're not going to have the safety of our citizens like you have in the past. I can bring you a listing of what happened in 2021 of all we had larceny around the teens, 14, 15 larcenies per month. And when I left, and I stopped the neighborhood watch, we had 3 or 4 larcenies a month. That's how much it decreased during that period where I was the neighborhood watch coordinator. And that's gonna go back up. Just watch. You gotta have safety in this city. And if you reduce our police officers, it's gonna go right back up. You've got to have the safety. Go ahead.
Can I clarify something? I'm not for getting rid of the police or even cutting down to those patrols. I'm asking and throwing that out there. My position is this: since you are our special people and you're riding around in cars with our name on the side of it, I just wanted something a little bit more. Even if it is just working 2 days on the weekend. Pick your day on the weekend, even just in the summer, because that's when everybody is out. It was such a different atmosphere when a police officer drives by. They drive by now, but when they drove by in the summer years ago with Kapler, everybody, even Sean, everybody's waving to them. Everybody knew their first name. You know, something as small as that and getting a little closer to the community, because I know you guys are stretched to the ends financially and police officer wise. Just a little something to become more familiar with our residents. That's all I'm really asking. I'm not asking for things to be cut. I agree 100% with Ron, because I'm a senior citizen, and I gotta tell you something. A lot of old people in Ward 1, I don't even wanna go out and take my trash cans out at night, and I know we're safe. But I'm just thinking, if somebody pushes me over, I got osteoporosis so bad, I'll crack in half, you know? But I take my own safety precautions. But I'm not for cutting the police. I'm for thinking if there's a modification or at least something, those weekends in the summertime, they can pick their own and just a shift.
Yeah,
Two
and I'm
shifts.
more than happy to work with you on that. And I think I told Joe and Teresa on that. Yeah, especially I think like we mentioned like Halloween and some other different holidays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I am more than willing to help you. And I already put the bug in Joe and or I keep calling him Joe.
Jeremy.
Jeremy and Sana's ear, and they're more than willing to step in and get some weekend at times too. So
For me, I think at the
I think that's
end-
definitely something we can
I
definitely
think that's all I'm
definitely
really
arrange.
asking,
Yeah.
just something to get closer to our residents.
I think that's definitely something we could work on and arrange.
Isn't that something that we could do? Can't you have
Well,
something
we're not
up
the police.
here
We
where?
should have a meet and greet in City Hall here or
In the
down in
park.
our new place, hopefully, if we can get that arranged accordingly. A meet and greet for all the police to come by, especially our officers. It would be such a great idea. We did all that years ago, and even night out, when everybody showed up on
We're
the,
more than willing to do
that
any of
night
that
out
stuff.
thing was a big deal. I mean, I remember that in all the cul-de-sacs and the
Yeah.
fire
It used to
department.
be, well, it used to be, see how much it changed, because we used to be, I mean, when I rode the street, I rode here, obviously, and I covered Green Park and rode in the Abington precinct, but that national night out, like, even that big national night out, we used to be in every neighborhood. Every neighborhood had a national night out. When I was one subdivision, and this whole precinct. When you're talking from the city down to Jeffco, one subdivision has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun,
That's it.
a creative, like
Anymore.
outdoor
And that's how much it's-
meet and
it's
greet, you
changed.
know? It was good.
But the neighbors just don't engage in it anymore. as
Well,
we
and
used
I
to.
think they would if we initiated things
Yeah.
like that.
And we're
And
more
I,
than-
you know, I just
more
kind
than
of look
happy.
for that. You guys can, you know, maybe I'm old fashioned, but
We're more than happy to work with you on
it's a
that.
good thing.
Carol, are you talking about, with that, kind of talking about what Michael was, is that gonna cost the city if we're having them pick a weekend once a month?
No, we
No.
lose a weekday.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just
You
adjust
just
your
shift.
schedule, you
That
just
was
shift your
my
schedule,
question.
yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and it's interesting because I think some of this too, when the person is no longer here, told me that, oh my God, our police aren't here. It was interesting because we had 2 holidays in a row. The one was a holiday where it was one of those Monday holidays. And the other, and it was a weekend, and the other one was like the holiday was on the Saturday or the Sunday, I don't know what it was, but, you know, we had so much crime those days. I can't even remember what year it was. It was like, they knew we didn't have police here, you know? I don't know if that was the case or not, but they hit us heavy.
Yeah.
They hit us heavy, and that bothered me. It was all
I'm more than,
residential.
we're more than willing to work with you on that, or just.
Okay, so
That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask, really.
If,
I would love
Yeah,
that.
we're more than happy to work with you
You'd
on
make me the
that.
happiest person in the world.
Yeah. We're more than happy to work with you on that.
The,
Thank you.
I want to clarify something. I'm not advocating dissolving our relationship with the county. What I'm advocating for is the things that we're talking about here, that we put in a contract, in a contractual form, things that we want done with the county police, okay? Now, if that's gonna be add another officer, add 10 officers, or go back to 1 and make some other arrangements with part-time here and there, I don't know, because we haven't talked about this. And sitting here, going back to our, you know, what it used to be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years ago, it's not that today. We're facing financial difficulties in the coming years. And as aldermen of this city, we should be working to make sure that we don't find ourselves with, we're draining our bank account. We're not going to keep receiving these funds. We can kiss the federal programs goodbye. That's not going to happen for years to come anymore.
What
And
kind
that's
of
the way it is.
What kind of
Oh,
prognosticator?
excuse me, I didn't interrupt you, did I?
Yeah, you did.
I'm tired of
Yeah,
you
you
attacking me, Ron.
You interrupted me.
Come on, guys.
I'm the only person on this board sitting at these tables, with the exception of this woman, that has any police experience at all. I've got 2 degrees in criminal justice, but 10
That's
years.
not true. I was a military policeman in the United States Army.
Okay, well, that's credible, but, you didn't work in the city, did you?
I was a military policeman in the
Okay,
United States
well,
Army.
you military police don't work in the city.
Michael,
Mike, let's
Continue
stick
on
with
with
the
what you were
subject,
saying.
please.
Yes, thank
Let's
you.
do it.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Okay, so about 10 years ago, I went to the criminal justice department at University of Missouri at St. Louis, where I graduated from. And I asked the person who was the head of the department at that time for law enforcement, what should we do here? We have this city, and so many people and so many miles to cover, and this many miles of streets and this many houses and businesses. And after we exchanged emails 2 or 3 different times, we got on the phone together, and he said, Mike, there is no metric for what you want. There's no metric for choosing the amount of police that you need in any particular city. So you can have, Wildwood has county police falling over each other out there. They've got, what, 46 officers?
30, a little less than that. It's been reduced, 30, I don't know the exact number.
So that's Wildwood, so we've got 2 and whatever, and the people that are doing these patrols, the 30-minute patrols, if they have what did you call, level 1 call?
Priority one calls.
Priority 1 call. If there's a priority 1 call, they get it, do they not?
Yeah, they come off the contract patrol, they hit, so your hours counted in your contract patrol, so we don't, so anytime, like say I'm here for 20 minutes and I get a call for a suicidal subject just across the street, you know,
Okay.
so
Well,
I'm gonna stop that contract patrol and I'm going, and let's say it's even in the city of Green Park, but it's at the nursing home. Someone's very combative, we do get calls for that, they're fighting staff, we need to get there right away. So just so we know, that contract patrol hours we don't count that when we handle that call for service. So that contract hour stops, so if I just did 20 minutes, that 20 minutes stops. And I'm gonna handle whatever calls for service are happening in Green
Okay,
Park.
but my point is,
And then I'm gonna go back to that extra contract
but
patrol.
you made my point. While they're doing that patrol, if there's a priority 1 call and they're selected to handle it, they're required to do that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So all I'm asking, all I'm suggesting, all I'm advocating
If there's no
for,
other calls for service available, so if there's other cars for service available, they tend to stay on that contract patrol until it's finished. It just depends on
Right,
if
no.
they're the only ones available or not.
Right.
Then obviously they're gonna have to pull it off
our
their.
distance or
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
Yeah, no, I understand that. All I'm advocating for is that at the next meeting, maybe we discuss this thoroughly, and if you don't want to do that, that's fine.
Yeah, I like the whole weekend thing because you don't know when crime's gonna happen.
more than-
And
yeah,
especially
well,
since we are paying for them to be here, to just do like the 2 times, each one of them, on the weekends. Pick that weekend day. They may both decide to do it on a weekend. But it kind of, the unpredictability of crime, it seems like that would be the right thing to do, other than meeting the people. So,
Yeah, I'm more than willing to, yeah,
I appreciate
compromise
that.
on that. It's fine by me.
Michael, are you looking for a vote to be taken?
Now?
No, at the next meeting?
I think that would be appropriate.
I think that might be a little soon. I think May might be, give us a little bit of time.
Well, that's fine too. I just think we keep kicking this can down the road. And we've not really sat down and gone into this in detail.
Well, we've got a lot going on, but now.
Right, no, I understand that. And one of the things we've kind of overburdened our city clerk.
Definitely over.
She used to be 6'6". And,
She comes in on the weekends too
Yeah.
to get stuff knocked out.
But yeah, let's set that up for
So,
May.
yeah,
Give us
okay.
a little bit of
It's
time.
at,
It's still plenty of time.
Yeah, I
to
think
make
Joe
any
mentioned that anyhow, Joe,
changes.
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
we've discussed this in October, November, now. Where do you want to go? Do you want to eliminate something, or?
My point is
I
no, it's
understand
exactly what you can help us with, to go ahead and do those alternate weekends, just 2 days, 2 weekend days for
I'm
each
totally
officer.
for that.
and
We've already talked about that.
That would make me ecstatic.
Yeah, we've already talked about that in our meeting. Also, the patrols be more in their neighborhoods when they don't get called out. So people, residents see the cameras
A
and
little
see
more
the
movement, yeah.
exits. So we've talked about that.
Stopping to say hi, is that what you're wanting, Carol?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially during the summer. It's-
Stickers for the kids, whatever.
Well, if they choose, I mean, I don't know what to say. But, it's just a good thing to know. It makes us different from just paying for police officers. If you're our neighborhood police officer and you're running around with our name on the side of your car, it just seems, I don't want to say that we should be treated a little bit more special, but it would be nice.
She is.
It would be nice, because I saw the way it worked in the past, and
Yeah.
it's just a good idea. I think it's a good idea.
what you're advocating for, in reality, is to have the things that we want in a contractual relationship with the police department.
Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about that next month.
Okay,
That'd be
well,
my
sit here
only
and talk.
change.
I'm
Right
sure.
now, that's my only change.
Yeah. We've talked about this over and over. We've never really done anything about it. And that's, you know, if the vote is we don't do anything about it, then I'm, you know,
You'll put it to rest.
Well, my vote is to
Well-
make that change, that minor change for me is a big deal. It's a big deal.
So we'll talk in May.
Yeah,
We'll
sure.
try to have what we want, we'll communicate.
I won't be here.
Oh, that's right. Oh, boo-hoo. Well, what do you think about that, having the police officers work just 2 times on any weekend day that they want? They can pick.
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's gonna argue about that.
Okay, well, it's good we discuss it, because things weren't going anywhere. That's why we're discussing it October, November,
Yeah,
December.
Lieutenant's gonna work that out. Is there any other issue you want to look at besides that?
I'm pleased as punch.
That's what,
And if she's happy, we're all
That's it.
happy.
Motion to adjourn.
Well, hold on a second here. We do have miscellaneous. Anyone?
Miscellaneous.
Okay, Michael made a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Tammy?
Thank you so much.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. The meeting is adjourned at 6:51. Lieutenant, thank you so much. Eric?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.